Welcome. This is James Duerr, your host of the Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show. And today I have with me Baron Wiley.
That's me.
GM of the station. And this is our debut show.
Congratulations, James.
Amazing. I tell you what, this is such a crazy, lovable community.
Oh, yeah.
It's just everybody. I hear it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I hear every day?
I love Boerne. I love Boerne Radio. I hear that every day.
That's right. That's right. And there are people out there who are loving the show, and there are sponsors that make this home and ranch show possible. It's Pilgrim Mortgage, and you'll get the opportunity to meet Christina O'Connor in just a few minutes, one of the segments, and she has some amazing stories. She told me some stories, Baron, about.
Don't tell me yet.
No, I'm not going to tell you yet. But if you need it, let me just throw her phone number out here real quick, because it's amazing stories. It's 210-414-7534. That's 210-414-7534. And she has some amazing stories of how she's helped people in the Boerne area to do the American dream home ownership.
Well, Boerne is blowing up, and we're all living the dream if you are here and you're listening to this. And so what else is coming up on the show today, too?
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about the other sponsors, Wells Fargo Advisors and Scott Velassi. Scott's one of our guests in the audience today. And Scott, thank you so much. And we have Platinum Wealth Solutions, Carlos Camarillo. He's our sponsor, too. So I have a special passion for people, doing what they need to do and visiting with their financial advisor once a year, twice a year, depending on their development. But most people plan more for the vacation than they do their financial, freedom and retirement. So that's why they need to reach out. And the cool thing about Boerne Radio is you're online. It's BoerneRadio.com, and when our listeners go there, they can just click on Wells Fargo Advisors. They can click on Pilgrim Mortgage and then any of our other guests and hear all about it.
If you like what you hear, you just go to BoerneRadio.com and it's all waiting for you.
Exactly. So I just want to take that moment to really thank the people who make this possible. And then, but what we're going to do on this show, we're going to talk about everything Boerne.
Yeah.
Boerne living, Boerne homes, Boerne ranches, the quality of life. We have a very, very special guest today at the end of the program, Amy Story, who's the president and CEO of the Kendall County Economic Development Corporation. And that's the type of person who's making Boerne the place to live.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing because
pressure,
you have people in the background. Amy's ready to go on just a little bit, but because of her efforts and the efforts of the Economic Development Corporation, Boerne is the place to go. I mean, the place to live, the place to socialize, the place to shop, and the Chamber of Commerce.
The future is secure, don't you think?
Yes, I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Well, we're going to be doing this show. I pledge to you, Boerne Radio, I'm going to be doing this for the next 20 years. Are you going to be with me?
I'll be here.
All right, let's do it.
I may be living in my ranch.
Good.
By that time, and I'll be coming back and forth, but we'll go there. But again, I'm James Duerr. I'm a native Texan. I'm your Texas realtor. I'm a Texas Aggie. So class of 83. I don't know if there's any Aggies out there in the audience. I'm sure there are a lot.
There's a couple.
There's a couple. So as you can see, we're going to talk about homes. We're going to talk about ranches. We're going to talk about special guests like the Economic Development Corporation. We're going to be talking interesting. And you always come up with the most interesting people that you meet every day.
Oh, man.
And we just want to, talk about Baron Wiley this segment.
All right, cool. I happen to be here.
So tell me, and I don't know if I even need these notes, but Baron Wiley.
Yes, sir. Boerne Radio.
What is your vision for Boerne Radio?
I feel like I've worked my whole life for this moment, and that I've worked in radio and media for 30 years. And then to have the opportunity to start a radio station, which happened on October 1st, crack the mic for the first time, change the format to playing the greatest music of all time. If you're listening to this radio show right now, well, then thank you for listening. If I can't say it enough, thank you so much. The station reflects Boerne as much as we can. So the voices that you hear are not the big guy from Nashville or California like you hear maybe on other stations. The voices you hear are from Boerne, Texas. Right. And the theme is, I love Boerne. And we keep hammering that because I want to create, the vision is to create community. That's what it's all about. Loving your neighbor. You hear that theme a lot. The theme is to be kind and to share. And there's so many great nonprofits based here in Boerne. We're going to help raise a lot of money for those nonprofits as well.
Because isn't that like part of the station's mandate?
Well, you know what? The FCC does have a thing in there that says you want to keep your license, you have to prove that you're doing good things in the community. And so that's when you hear on the rock station or on the country station, wherever, they've got this little bitty interview show that happens at Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. and they interview someone from the pet shelter and they check that box. Okay, not on Boerne Radio. We're here to make a difference in the community, and that's happening. And I think every CEO, every neighbor gets that, and you see that a lot in the city. And I bet Amy will have a few stories on that from the Kendall County Economic Development Corporation. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Well, and that leads us to. I know you have a very interesting path to how you got to this point.
It's a miracle.
It is.
It is a miracle.
So tell the listeners about the path that you've gone
When we
through.
met, I met you when I was working at the Salem Media Group. I was there for 17 years out of my 30-year career. And you know what? A great man here in Boerne, Texas, was starting a nonprofit. And he said, Baron, I want to do this nonprofit, and I want to have a radio show and a podcast, but I can't do it without you. Will you come join me?
I know, but you were getting ready to run that third largest station in San Antonio. You're getting ready to run it.
I was the director of sales, and I was a heartbeat away from being the general manager.
Right.
And so I told the general manager, I said, I've got an opportunity to do something pretty cool in Boerne. I need to give you my notice. And he was like, hey, dude, you might want to wait because I'm about to retire. And this position's yours. And I said, you know what? This feels right. I'm going to go do this.
Mm-hmm. So you did a leap of faith.
Jumped out of the boat, leap of faith. Guess what that guy did? He retired. I could have been the GM there.
And you even, as I hear it, you even recruited the guy to work at the station and director of sales. And he took the GM place after being there for less than a year or maybe.
Exactly.
And you were there 17 years working toward that. But then all of a sudden,
here I am.
Here you are running a station. And you have the freedom to do everything you want to do.
Let me back up and just say, though, that nonprofit was going really, really strong. And then this thing called COVID hit. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, I'm in Boerne, Texas, unemployed. Now what? I'm not the GM anymore, not over here, and now I'm looking for a gig. Well, because of that ministry and that nonprofit, when I got that radio program put on Boerne Radio. And so when I had to go to the owner of this station and I said, hey, we need to cancel our program because we don't have any more money, he said, well, what do you think about taking over this station? He's in his 60s, and he's looking for an exit strategy. We knew each other because I worked with him over at Salem. Okay. So we had a relationship already. He trusts me. He knew me. And so on October 1st, that's what happened. And so I'm leasing the station from him right now. Mm-hmm. I have, as the general manager, I run it, but I'm trying to raise the capital to purchase the station and, again, plant that stake deep in here for, again, the next 20 years and pass it on to the next guy to carry on the tradition. So that's the short story.
I think one thing that really makes people listen to Boerne Radio is the music.
Oh, isn't it cool?
And you personally, I don't know where you have this talent, but you have such amazing music, everything from the Doors to Willie Nelson to Ray Charles, everything, Elvis Presley, but it relates to all generations. And you have that gift of selecting the music that people hate to get out of their cars.
I know.
They just stay in the cars in the parking lot. I go down, Main Street in Boerne, and people are just parked in their cars. They didn't need to get out. We need to give them all headphones or something.
I know. I want more of that.
Yeah. But speaking of, they can listen online. Of course. Boerne Radio. I do all the time. BoerneRadio.com and just press listen live. And then the calls. They can go to 103.9 FM, 1500 AM.
2 stations there.
So they don't have to stay in the cars. They can go shop Boerne.
Put your headphones on and put on BoerneRadio.com and stream it from your phone. That happens a lot too.
Yeah. And I know in the next segment there's a very interesting guest coming up.
Do you know somebody? That would be you.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So you were kind and gracious to have me on your show, but I'm kind and gracious to have you on my station.
I like it.
So I think it'd be right if we got your story and figured out why are you doing this and all that good stuff there too.
Again, before we leave this segment, I'd like to thank Pilgrim Mortgage, Wells Fargo Advisors, Platinum Wealth Solutions. And the way you contact them is go to BoerneRadio.com. That's BoerneRadio.com. Their logos are there. You go right to their websites. My phone number is 361-442-4811. That's 361-442-4811. Anybody we have on as a guest, any advertisers we have on there, you contact me if you have any problem with a link or anything in the future. I'm not saying there's going to be any problems, but anything you need, contact me. And we look forward to the next segment, and you'll make it exciting, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so.
There you go.
All right. Well, you're listening and watching the Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show. And we're, by the way, where are we, sir?
Oh, we're at the Berkshire Hathaway
Thank you very much.
Studios, and it's the franchise is the Hill Country Properties.
All right. We'll talk about that too. Is that all right?
That'd be great.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.